So start பண்ணலாமா சார்?
சார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் சார்.
Okay, sir. So shall we start? Recording has also started.
Sir, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So,
Good evening, everyone. We have great pleasure in meeting all of you in this COVID-19 period, and I hope all of you are safe at your home. Today's meeting, the purpose is very simple. We are going to start the online classes from 21st of August. So we have signed an MOU with a company called as Great Learning. Great Learning comes from a company, parent company called as Great Lake Institute of Management, and they are going to give us a demo, like how the classes are to be taken and all these aspects and doubts which will be raised by you over the period of time. We already had two sessions, one with the super admin and other with the HODs, to make sure that the classes are assigned properly without any difficulty. And in case we have any issues, they'll be always available for us to clarify their doubts. With these words, may I request Sharath to please take over and help us and take the journey throughout, so that how to take things forward and how can we conduct classes. Sharath, it's all yours.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, all. Okay, myself Sharath. I'm taking care of the training and placement, training and the delivery of the Olympus Digital Campus, which is the product where all of you will be using in the coming days for scheduling your classes, for conducting your classes, and also to configure the assignment and evaluate your students according to the assessments or quizzes or whatever we are releasing for them, and to share the content with the students, and to enable the learning journey of the students in a very good manner. So it will make life easy for both the faculty members and for the students, because most of the things which we are having, like online session planning and also releasing of the assessment, announcing it to the students, all the announcements, notifications, everything is automated and will be driven by the system. So it will make life easier for both faculty members and for the students. And it is very easy to use, and also it will be requiring minimal tech intervention also, because it doesn't require you to have a higher end system at all. With a normal system, with like a normal laptop or a desktop or using a mobile device, we can attend the session. And for faculty members, they need to have a proper laptop or a desktop to conduct the session. With this, I have planned to segregate this session into two. One is with respect to content sharing and assessments to be done by the faculty in the particular courses which he or she is handling. The second part is how we can conduct online session, how we can schedule online session, and how we can conduct online session. Okay, so let us just go into the first part of the course level. First, what I will do is I will log into a demo faculty portal, and I will show you each and every one, when you log into your system, how a faculty portal will look like, and what all are the features in that, and how you can go to courses, and how you can configure the assessment and the learning content within the courses, and how you can send announcement to the students. The second part of it, we will come back into the same portal and will show you how we can create an online session. Okay, in between, for each of these things, after creating the assessments, file uploads, announcements, configuration and all, we will go into the a demo student portal, and show you how it will be visible for the students. Second thing, after scheduling an online session, how it will be visible to the students, I will show you, and then I'll take you just 5 minutes into how we can join the virtual or online session, and how the platform will look like, and what are the things which we are having there. Okay, and I would request all of you to explore it after this training session. There will be a demo batch which sir had created. In that, you all of you will be members. You can like just do trial and error in that. You can try practicing in that. And also, if you are stranded, if you are having any doubt, please ask the respective department heads or HOD, and they will just inform us, and we will be able to help you one by one. Okay. With this, I'm going to share my screen and will show you how we can configure assessments and session course content. Okay, I'm just sharing my screen. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Now, I will go into a demo credential here and will log into a faculty portal. Okay. Going here, going to log in here. I'm going to log in as a demo faculty. Okay.
சிவமணி சார் உங்களோட ஆடியோவை மியூட் பண்ணுங்க பாருங்க. You can go ahead, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to this. This is not very relevant to you, but I'm just going to create one particular batch in which I will be able to show you how each of the thing works. Okay, so I'm just going to schedule this. Just creating one batch specifically for this training. Okay. Now, once a faculty go inside a batch where he or she is teaching, how it will look like is it will be having this many tabs. Okay, so it will be having users, that is faculty and students. It will be having online classes, it will be having assessments, it will be having courses, and it will be having tracking option. We can track attendance of the students, we can track grades and mark of the students, etc. Okay, so now with respect to courses, a faculty will be able to create his or her courses using just add course option. But in your case, it is already been scheduled, like all the courses have been set up. Okay, so we'll just move on to one more batch and we'll show you like how it will be. Just wanted to show the difference. So now when all of you will be logging into your respective batches, this is how you will be seeing it. You will be seeing a campus admin user, you will be seeing faculties who are teaching for the different courses of the batch, you will be seeing all the students. Now when you go into the courses, you will be able to see all these courses. Okay, so here what faculty need to do to schedule an assessment or assignment or quizzes, you can do it from here. Like you can go to assessments and do it, but we would advise you to go to the course specific level and do it. How you need to do it is, for example, I am a faculty, I have logged in as demo faculty 1, and I am a faculty who is teaching electronic subject. I'm just clicking on electronic subject. Okay, so once I go into electronic subject, there will be 2 modules which will be automatically created by the system. I think I will show you a new course. This is an already populated course, so I will add one course and show you. That would be easier for all of you. Okay, now electrical engineering. Okay, I'm creating one course inside this. Once we create this particular course, what happens is system will automatically create this course in the backend with 2 modules. Okay, 2 modules would be learning content and assessments. So now it is not, but let me just refresh it. It will take at least 30 to 40 seconds to create it. Okay, I'm just going back to the course page. I'm going to this particular course which we have created now. clicking on it. Okay, now can you see this course page is created within the system, and system has automatically given two modules, learning content and assessment. If faculty want to create one more module, we can just click here and we can give the name of the module and create it. If you want to give a course overview, you can add it and create it if you want. Now, can you all see this is a cross mark in gray color? That means it is not published. It is in unpublished state and it will not be visible to the students. Now we need to just tick. This green color tick mark indicates that this module is published to the students. Using these three modules, I will show you like how different things can be configured within this particular course. Are all of you with me? Like, can one person unmute and confirm? Okay, I'm taking silence as an S. And
Yes, sir. Yes.
okay. Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you very much. Okay, now, yeah, I think you can unmute you can mute yourself. Okay, thanks. Now, in the course overview, I am going to use a content page here. Okay, I am going to name this page as course outline. Okay, course outline. I've named it as course outline and I'm adding this particular item. See, content pages are required when if faculty want to create a page within the module and if you want to share some text with the students. Okay, so I am going to add some content here for this content page. Whatever content we are giving, it will be visible to the students. So we are going to give course. We are going to give faculty. We are going to give course here as electrical engineering. We are going to give faculty as Dr. XYZ. And we are going to give like a brief faculty bio. So whatever we want to give it as a faculty profile, we can faculty profile info can be given here, and we will give the duration of the course. How many hours? If you have it for 20 hours, you can give it. And
One second, some people are waiting to join. Can you give the admit?
Sure, sir. Sure, will do. Just 1 minute.
Thank you, Silva.
Yeah, I'm admitting it. Let us just give them 1 minute time to. Yeah. Yeah, we are done, sir. Thank you. Now let us just go back here. Okay, and we can give contents if you want to give contents in like this, and if you want to just give it as a bullet list, you can give it like we can give electrical devices, circuits, like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this bold and underline here. Okay, so like this we will be able to give. If you want to give it as numbered, that also we can give. Okay, so it is up to us like how we want to configure, and just saving and publishing. Okay, now course outline is published and is visible to the students. Now in the learning content, I want to upload a file. So what I have to do is I have to go to learning content, click on this plus symbol, just go here. Okay, select file, go to new file, choose file. Okay, I can just browse it from any folder in my desktop. So I've kept some files handy for this purpose. So I'm just gonna upload this PDF file. Okay, now we have created a module. We have shown you how to publish and unpublish each like this, and we have shown how we can upload a content page, how we can create content in the content page, how we can upload a file. Now let us go into the assessment part. Okay, let us create an assignment. This is a mock assignment I am giving, so I will just give it as a mock assignment. or a demo assignment. Sir, if there are anybody waiting, please let me know, sir. I will immediately accept and let them in. Okay, so once we click on assignment and create an assignment, it will be created as a thread. We need to just click on the assignment thread to configure it. It's very easy. You need to just click here and give some description of the assignment. Okay, so I am giving here as a question, explain in detail about electrical machines. Okay, I'm just giving this as a question. I'm gonna give the due date here. What due date shall we give? Shall we give it 16th August, 6 p.m. So this we can give, or anything you can give in the description. Even you will be able to upload a file here. See, for example, I want to upload an assignment question as a file. We can do that. Click here, go to this particular, let us consider this PPT as a, let us just rename and keep it assignment question. Okay, so it is in PPT format. Let us just give it open, upload. So I have given it for upload, and once it is uploaded, this file will be visible here. Okay, let it get uploaded. I think there is some issue with my internet. I'm sorry for that. So let us just configure the remaining part of the assessment. We are going to give 20 marks here. We are going to give it as online. So there are two options. One is text entry option. Website URL typically we will not use for assignment, but you can use that. You can ask the student to give a URL here after they build it. If it is for some particular programming courses or something, we can use this option. But typically we will use either file upload or text entry. Text entry means there will be a text box in that the student, he or she, will type the answer and submit it. In case of file upload, how it works is they can submit it as a PDF or a Word or an Excel sheet or something, some file they can upload. We can even like give the extensions like this. We can give it XLS for Excel, or we can give PDF. If we restrict this, then only this particular format will be taken by the system as a submission. Okay, so depending on faculty discretion, we can do that. Now let us just select a due date here. We have given 16th 6 p.m. as the due date. Okay, 16 6 p.m. as the due date. Okay, I'm just gonna give the same due date here as well, and I am going to open it from 5 o'clock today, 5 p.m. Okay, so now we have given all this. This is not yet uploaded. So what I will do is I will give it as
Sharad,
yes, sir.
1 second, Sharad. Just check somebody is waiting or not, or you have a restriction that 100 only can join.
I think somebody is waiting, sir. Correct. Yes. Yeah, I have added all the people who were waiting, sir. I think somebody also came here. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to link this. Okay, no, let us just save it and get back to this. Okay, so I have given this as an assignment question. Okay, earlier there was some issue with my internet, so it's not. So let us just connect this. Okay, go, and I am just going to link this particular sheet itself as file upload. Okay, so once that is done, see, this particular text is linked with the assignment question. So essentially you are uploading a file as a question. You can embed an image by clicking here. Okay, you can just embed an image, and you can embed a YouTube video also as an assignment question. And Sorry, it will take some time, so I'm just closing it. And let us just go and add a mathematical equation. For courses like mechanics and all, where we need a lot of equations, we can use this option. And there are a lot of other formatting options as well. Like we will be able to bullet list, numbered list, or else insert table. All those options are there. Inserting a link. Okay, so you can use any of these options, and even you can just give a text here and upload a file or a link and attach to that text. That text, that is also possible. Now, as we have completed the configuration of assignment, we can save and publish this. So are you all with me here? Have you understood how easy it is to configure an assignment? Okay, let me take silence as an S, and I'll just go to the quiz option. Okay, so this is also yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir. Is it possible to add the rubrics for assignments?
Yes, sir. I will show you. Thanks for that question. Okay, so in the assignment, can you see here rubric? Okay, so I am clicking a rubric here. Just we can give like evaluation rubrics. Okay, and we can give clarity. Can give 10 marks for clarity. Click on OK. No marks means, yeah, we can give it 0 itself. Okay, let it be 0. And now let us just add one more criteria, which is explanation. Okay, so it's a 20-mark question. Let us just make this also 10 marks and give it OK. Now we have created this. I will write free-form comments when assessing students. Use this rubric for assignment grading and just create a rubric. Sir, have you understood? Like we need to just create the click on that add rubric, and we need to give our criteria of assessment and use this for assignment evaluation, and just click on create rubric. So this rubric is now attached with this particular assignment. If you want to delete rubric, you can do that. If you want to edit rubric, you can do that. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is it possible to comment on the assignments?
Yes, I will show you when I show you the evaluation part of it. Okay. After going to the student account, we will again come back here and I will show you how we can do the evaluation part. Okay.
Right, sir.
Now let us just go back to the home. Okay. There we can just go and create a quiz. Similarly to the assignment, we can create a quiz. So here I'm going to give this as a demo quiz. Okay. So I'm just going to open this quiz thread, click on edit. Quiz typically, unlike assignment, will have two tabs. One will be details, one will be questions. Here, we can give the description of the quiz. Like we can give time limit, number of questions. Number of questions we can give as 2, and we can give this time limit as 10. We can give due date as 16th or 17th August 2020, 8 p.m. Okay, now we need to just configure this quiz. We need to give this time limit as 10 minutes. We can let students see their responses. We can like uncheck students from seeing the correct answers. Okay, if you want to shuffle answers, you can do that. Come down, just select 17th of August, 8 p.m. is what we have given as due date. Okay, I'm just giving the same due date here in the until date as well. And in the available date, I'm going to give today's date, and we'll give it as 5 p.m. Done. Okay. And before saving and publishing, I need to create some questions here. So how we can create questions? Just click on new question. When we click on new question, this is how it will be formed. So many options we will be having. We will be having multiple choice. We will be having true or false. We will be having fill in the blanks. We will be having essay question. We will be having multiple answers. Among this essay question is a descriptive quiz, which means faculty need to evaluate it like an assignment. Okay. The other things like multiple choice, if I'm giving a demo question here, okay, and I'm giving 3-4 choices here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and if 4 is the correct answer, then what I need to do is just click on this. So now 4 is the correct answer. Just come down, update the question. So next, if I want to add one more question as demo question 2, what I will do is go here, pick.
Sir, please go with the multiple correct answers.
But yeah, I will use that also, sir. I'll just create one in that manner also. True, false. Okay, so I'm gonna give it as false here, and we'll give it as true here. So let this be the correct answer, false. Okay. Update the question. Now we will create one more question, sir, as you told, multiple correct answers. So let us just keep it here. We will give this 3 marks. Okay. So choose the correct 3 answers. I am not giving the questions here because I am just demonstrating this. In your case, you have to give the correct question and then choose the correct 3 answers or whatever you want. Okay, so here we are giving 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm giving 7 options here. Add another, add another, add another. Okay. 50, 70, 100. Okay, so if these 3 are the possible answers, we can collect all these 3. So have you understood how multiple choices, this answers can be selected? I'm just unchecking this or unselecting this, deselecting this. Okay, so now we have selected 3 correct answers here. Here we have selected true or false and 1 demo question, multiple choice. Okay, I'm just going to update this question. Now we are having a quiz of 3 questions for 5 marks. If you want to check the questions and answers, you can see like this. Question 1, 4 is the correct answer. Question 2, false is the correct answer. Question 3, 50, 70 and 100. Okay. After doing this configuration, what we need to do is we need to go back. Here we have given number of questions as 2. Let us make it 3. And just go down and just click on save and publish. Now this quiz is also configured. So what all we have done till now, we have created a content page, we have created an assignment, we have created a quiz, and we have uploaded a file. Now we will link an external URL also. Okay, so for that I'm just doing a Wikipedia link. I'm opening electrical. Okay, so let us just open some random topic to create an external URL. So I'm going to create an external URL here. Going to give a page learning content link 1. Okay, so in the URL we can go here, take this Wikipedia link and paste it under the universal resource locator and just add item. Once we add item, it is in unpublished mode. We are publishing it. Okay, so are you all with me till here? How we have like configured all the content is uploaded file, external URL, assignment and quiz. Are you all with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Regarding the multiple correct answers, is it possible to calculate the value in two decimal and numbers? In the sense,
Yes, sir. Yeah. Whatever text you are giving, yeah, I will show you that. Okay. So in the questions, see whatever you are giving here as the answer, whether it is a whole number, whether it is a decimal or anything, system doesn't mind because it is just considering that the text.
Sorry, that is not the case, sir. What I'm telling, for 3 correct answers, if I select only one, my mark is 0.3.
Yeah. Yes. Correct.
Right? If
Yes.
2 answers are right, my mark is 0.6 something, 66.
Yes.
That much evaluation is done by this software
Yes.
while evaluating in
While
multiple
evaluating,
answers.
it will do that, sir. Yes, it will do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse
Yes,
me,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my doubt is if we are creating assignments or quiz, after checking whether email will be shooted to the students' mailbox.
If you are doing a futuristic assignment well in advance, sir, then the assignment will be prompted because assignment needs a deadline and all. But we can do a manual announcement, sir. It's a very easy process. That is what I'm going to do now. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I'm
sir.
just going to click on the announcement page. Okay. Click here.
Okay.
And I'm going to give it as what is the course name? Electrical engineering. Okay. Electrical engineering assignment and quiz released. After configuring this, I will show you all how it will be visible and in the student portal and how they will be able to do it. Okay. So,
Okay, sir.
dear students, this faculty is typing an assignment and a quiz is released. Kindly attempt and finish both within the due date. Okay. So if you are just doing some announcement like this, regards faculty. Okay. Or else you can give it like this, happy learning. Okay, so once it is done, we can either delay posting of this announcement to a futuristic time period, like we can post it at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or tomorrow morning, anything. But if you want to post it right away, you can just do it and uncheck delay posting, go and just save it. It will pop up like this. This is how it will be visible to students in their portal and also in the announcement which will be prompted to the students. Once you do that, okay, click on submit. So all the students will be getting an announcement and it will be visible in their student portal as well. Okay, so now we have configured a lot of things here and we have created an assignment. Okay, now let us go into a student account. I will open it in a different portal, different browser, so it will be easier for us to toggle between the two. Okay, I'll open a student account here. Login. So when the student login, he or she will be able to see like this. So which is the portal, which is the course we have used. 1 minute. Electrical engineering, and which is the module electronics semester 6. Okay. So this problem will not come to you. It will come because it is a demo batch. So I need to just select the batch in which the student is added. Okay. So I'm just, this is how a feedback will be prompted after the session. The student can give whatever feedback they would like to give. Okay. If they want to write some feedback here, they can write it. Okay. So when we come into the electronics and communication semester 6, this is how it will be. Okay, student will be seeing quiz is there, assignment is there. This is what we have scheduled now. So in the dashboard, they will also see the grade book, view details. If some online sessions are scheduled, they will see the join link also here. Okay, upcoming will be for future, that is for tomorrow or day after tomorrow or the next week. This is for today, ongoing. Completed is for the previously concluded. So all the recordings or the session recordings will be coming here as view recordings. They can just click on it and they can just click on it and view the recording accordingly. I think we have to go a little bit because these are the sessions which they have conducted today. So like this, so they can just go into the recording and just play it. Okay, now we need to go to courses for this particular student. So this is a course which we which we created now, and all the file uploads, assignment, everything is added to this particular course. Now, before going to it, can you see this bell icon? Click on that. So this is an announcement which we made now. Do you all remember, like electrical engineering assignment and quiz release, and assignment and quiz is released? So this instantaneously it will come into the faculty portal. Like 3 minutes before itself it came here, and also the same thing will go as an email to the respective student email IDs. And if we schedule a session, that also will come directly here, and also the recording will be coming directly here along with an automated email prompted to the students. Now, going back to the course, how it will be visible to the student is like this. Content. Course outline is a content page. So the student will be able to view the course outline like this. Okay. If they go into the learning content, this is the file which we have uploaded. So that file they will be able to download by clicking this down arrow. This is the content link of electrical devices we have created, or electrical machines. Now, if they just click on this link, they will be able to navigate to the URL. Now, this is the assessments, like assignment. What we have done is we have created a rubric, we have given a question, and we have given file upload option. Now, what student need to do is easy. They need to just click on browse. If it is ready, if the answer is ready with them, they need to just click on the submission file and just click on open, and then give like file uploaded or submitted. Okay, and submit the assignment. Before that, it will just ask, do you want to submit the assignment? Yes. Why? Because if there is a wrong file chosen or something, it is just prompting one warning to the student. If they click on yes, file will be submitted. See, after submitting, assignment submitted successfully will come, and now the submission will be visible here for this particular student and all the things. Okay, now let us go into the quiz. Quiz. When they click on the quiz, what happens is they will see the due date, they will see the marks, they will see the number of questions, they will see only one attempt, and they will be seeing number of questions, description, whatever we gave here. Go to start. Start now. Now, we have given here as, we have given in 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but the system has given, shuffled the answers and has shown. I'm selecting this, going to the next question. I am going to select this as false, which is the right answer that we all know. Now, here you might be remembering, we have selected multiple answers here. So I am selecting only this, or I am selecting this and this, which are wrong. Now I am just going to submit quiz. Yes. Now my score is only 2. View the answers.
Sir, here I come.
Yes.
Regarding the multiple correct answers,
Yeah.
if 3 answers are correct, but the student has selected only one,
That
he has to
0.33 is not
select
reflecting.
he has to secure 0.33 marks for the correct one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, but sir, we haven't given 1 mark here. We have given 3 marks here. So it will be divided by 3. 1 will be selected, right?
Okay.
We have given
First
3
answer
marks here. Yeah.
Question number 3 is not incorrect answer. It is one answer is right, right?
One answer is right, but majority is wrong, right? So for clarifying your doubt, we will do one thing, sir. Okay, so let it be like this. I will show you one more. Yeah, yeah. I understood what you had asked. So I will log in as another student because, or else we will do one thing. 1 minute. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. I'll like clarify your doubt. Okay, just 1 minute. Go to electrical engineering course. Go to the quiz. Okay. I'm going to give one more attempt for this particular student. Extra attempt should be 1. Save. Now I'm going back. No, let us just go into the quiz. We haven't unchecked this. I just wanted to uncheck this 1 minute, and we will go into the question as sir had asked. Like we are having this option, right? 3 marks is given. Now we can't change because one student had already submitted it, so we will not be able to change this. Okay, so what happens is 1 mark will be coming for this. Okay, I'm updating this question. Go save. Go back to the student. Okay, going to assignment and coming back to the quiz. So now I have 1 more attempt for retaking. Okay, so sir, can you just tell the answers? Like the first 2 I will select, the third one you tell me which one to select. Okay, I'm selecting this, going to next, going to select this, going to next. Which one shall I select? Shall I select 50? Shall I select 100? 100. And then one wrong thing I will select. Okay, I'll click on next. Next is not there, so we'll just submit the quiz. Yes. Now let us just click on view answers. Okay, so the first question is correct. We selected 4. Second question is correct. No, sorry. I think attempt history is sorry. Here. Okay, so first question is incorrect. Second question is correct. Third is partial answer. Why it is selecting as partial answer is we have not answered this correctly. Hello, sir. Can you see this?
Yeah, sir. Actually, he has secured one out of 3. Yeah.
Yes. So I think how it is mapping is, sir, for partial answer it is giving 1 mark. For a correct answer, it is giving the whole full marks.
Is it possible to give the weightage of 1 mark for one question? So it can be taken as 0.33 for one correct answer.
If we give 1 mark for this, then it should be divided as a decimal. Like it will be divided as 0.3. Now, as we have answered, we are not able to change the mark for this. But if we give 1 mark, the partial weightage will be like 0.33, 0.66, like that it will come.
Great, sir. Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Got it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So now we have done this. Now I will go back to the faculty portal and show you how the evaluation of assignment work. Okay. So here we will just go back to the assignment or home page and assignment. Go to the demo assignment. Click on speed grader. So in the speed grader, there is one option like this. Okay. What we need to do is when a faculty is having an assignment to evaluate, when all the students have submitted it, it will look like this. Whichever students have submitted will be in orange dot, and the others who haven't submitted will be in invisible manner. Okay. Faculty need to just mute the assignment. So whatever faculty he or she is doing here will not be visible to the student. I'm just going to give 18 marks for this particular student, and I'm going to give as good as a comment or good submission as a comment from my end as a faculty. Okay, I'm going to submit this. Now, this orange dot have been changed to green tick mark. That means faculty have evaluated. But this will be only visible to the faculty till he or she goes back and unmute the assignment. Once it is unmuted, what happens is unmute assignment. Once it is unmuted, it will be prompted as an automated email to the student telling that student that this particular assignment is evaluated and grades are available. Go and check in this link. Like that, it will go as an email to the student. Okay, so we can maintain a good confidentiality while doing the assignment evaluations. Or else, if you want to evaluate in a different manner altogether, then the faculty can do this as well. They can just download all the submissions, go to the speed grader, go to this one, grades. So you can just give whatever mark you want to give here, and just after giving it here, if you just go back to the grade book, it will be visible. Now I'm gonna change this as 90. Enter. Okay, so I'm going back to grade book. Now for this particular student, if I just refresh the screen, see 18 has been changed to 19. So we can evaluate it in that manner also for all the students together, or else we can just do it one by one. Are you all clear with this aspect? Okay. So this is how it will be visible, and this is how they will be able to do the evaluation of assignment or descriptive quizzes. And this is how each and everything will be visible in the student portal. So now we will just close this. We will not log out of the student portal. We will just close this and go to the dashboard. Okay, now the next important thing which all of us would need now is the online classes. Okay, scheduling online classes, each and every faculty member will be able to do. So I have joined as a demo faculty 1 here. You can just go here and schedule your class. Okay, you can just type the first letter of the course and go select the course, type whatever you want to give it here. So for here, electrical, same topic I will give. Okay, electrical machines. I'm going to add this time as 5:30 p.m. 30 p.m. and I'm going to give it as 6:15 p.m. Okay, and Zoom meeting by default will be selected. We need to select that only because Zoom meeting will have the students' privileges intact. Like they can unmute themselves and ask questions to faculty. They'll be able to ping or chat their doubts to the faculty. But in Zoom webinar, they will be joining in listen only mode. So by default, Zoom meeting will be selected. Let it be there itself. And click on schedule. Once you schedule this, what happens is automatically the link will be coming here for the session. Faculty can just click on the join class link and join. They can copy the link. If some of their fellow faculty want to join, they can copy the link and give it to the faculty. So the other faculty or principal or HOD can also join. Okay. This link will not be visible for a session if I am scheduling it for tomorrow. Okay, I am going to schedule for the same faculty, same course, electrical engineering, and same topic also. Okay, electrical machines. And I'm going for the day, tomorrow's date, and I'm going to give same time 5:30 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. and click on schedule. Instead of this join class link, there will be a bin option. That means you can delete it till this link is being enabled. Then the link will be enabled. The link will be enabled at least 10 hours or 8 to 10 hours before the session. That is, by tomorrow morning, this link will be enabled. Till then, you will be able to delete the session. Okay, and how we can join the link? is also very easy. And this one, it is the personalized session joining links for the students. What they can do is they can just open the the faculty or admin can open this, and if the student is telling, I haven't got a link in my portal, or else I am unable to open my portal or my email, can you please give me the link? In that time, you can give the personalized link to that particular student, so he or she will be able to join. But this is a very extenuating circumstance, only this requirement will come up. Typically, we should not give this. We should tell them, go to your portal, take it from the portal and do it. Then only they will be habituated to use the portal. Okay. So they can use this in their mobile app, Great Learning app also. They will be able to log in using their login ID and the same password. They will be able to see the joining link in that itself, like this. Okay. Now I will show you how it will be visible in the student portal. Let us go back to the student portal here. Let us just refresh. After refreshing it, we will see. See, we can see this join session link for the student. So student will be also able to join the session. Okay. Now we can join this session. Can one or two of you just volunteer and log in using the student IDs if possible? Hello? Okay. If nobody is coming forward, then I'll show you how we can join the session. It's a very easy process. We need to just click on this, and it will ask prompt for the session link to open. Click on that, launch the meeting, and then we will be navigating into the application which is synchronized with the Olympus Digital Canvas, and we will be able to just join using computer link. Okay. And in this particular session, we will be having a lot of options, like we will be able to enable or disable the students from sharing their screen or chatting or renaming. We will be able to see all the students here. We will be able to put a poll question here. How we can add a poll is, I will show you. Add a question. Just it will go into a different window. There you can give it, like I'm giving it as a demo poll 1. Okay, I'm going to give this question here as this is a generic question I'm just typing. Excuse me for that. This is the second largest country in the world. Okay, gonna give this question here. Gonna give this as Russia. Continue without audio. Sorry, we have to go back again to the window. Russia, China, Canada, USA. Okay, so I have created one poll, one question. We can add n number of questions here, but I'm just adding one question just to show you all. Okay, I'm saving this. Now, if you want one more poll to be used in a later stage of a session, you can just do that as well. Okay, here I'm just going to ask them, which is the largest river in the world? Something. Gonna give it like Nile, Amazon, Mississippi, Indus. Save. So we have two polls now. When we go back to the session window, we can see like this: demo poll 1, demo poll 2. Okay. What we can do is, if faculty wants to just use this after some point of the session, they can just click on polls. It will open. If you want to just launch this poll to the students, you can just launch it. And after the student answers, it will be visible here. When they answer, you can just end the polling. Okay, you can just go back to poll 1. You can launch it to the student. When they finish answering the question, yes, sir.
Is it possible to identify the person who is giving correct answer and who is giving wrong answer? Like
We
in
will
the poll?
not be able to identify the exact person, sir, but we will be able to share the results with the students. So they will come to know what is the mark which they are getting. And we will be able to know how many have answered the correct answer. For example, how many have answered Canada, we will come to know in this itself. What percentage of the class. Sir, this is majorly to have the attentiveness of the students during the session. Like when the faculty is teaching, it should not be in a monotonous manner, right? So faculty is testing the understanding or the attentiveness of the students. For this, we are using this particular option.
Okay, sir. To attract the class attention. Right,
Yeah,
sir. Thank
attract
you.
the class attention and to understand like these people are focused in the session or they are just keeping their mobile device on and going somewhere. So this is one option for that. We can even do breakout rooms. Like if we are having 40 students or 50 students, we can just break them into 10 rooms. That is virtual rooms within the session itself. Okay. What happens is when we create these rooms, we will be getting this 10 breakout rooms. We can automatically send all the students into 10. So 50 students will be divided and all of them will be sent into different rooms. As a faculty, we will be having complete privilege of who is there in which room, and we will be able to join each of the room. This can be used for activity, like group activity when we are giving it during the session. For 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you can do it. And after that particular activity is completed, or once faculty go into all the rooms, you can just come back and close this. That option is also there. And while doing this breakout room, there are a lot of features like broadcast message options, a lot of things are there. But it is very user friendly. You can like do it with what self-learning itself, you will be able to understand it. And if you are any of you have any doubt, we are always here to help you. So this breakout rooms are there, and we are having screen sharing option also. In the screen share also, we are having a lot of options like annotating. Like if you want to draw something in the screen, you can draw it. Or else if you want to just spot like something, like highlight something, we can just do it. Or else if you want to add some text somewhere, we can do it. Okay, a lot of features are there, and if you want to clear all this, we can do that. If you want to save this, it will get saved as an image in a particular folder. So if you want to clear all drawings, you can clear it and just click on stop share. So sharing is done. Like this, we are having a lot of options. So if you have any specific doubt in any of these options, please unmute yourself and ask. I'll be happy to answer.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
suppose I want to explain about our derived equations, how this can be helpful.
Sorry, sir, I can't hear you. Can you please be a little bit loud?
Sir, suppose I want to derive the equations. So at that time, how this will be useful?
You have to use the annotate option, sir, for deriving equation, because we don't have mathematical symbols here, right?
Yes.
Or else you can use this whiteboard option, sir.
Like to use mathematical symbol. For that, where is that provision is there?
In that case, sir, it is easy. I understood your question. So, like, I'm just closing this, stopping the share. Okay. So, in the screen share option, if I just create a Word doc, okay, I'm just opening a Word document. In that, we will have all the symbols, everything will be there inbuilt. So, after opening the Word document, if you share your screen, you will be able to derive all the equations, whatever you want, right, sir?
Okay.
So, after opening this, if you go back to the session and if you share your screen, okay, and just go to the Word doc, you will be able to do it. Okay, is it clear, sir?
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so if there are no more questions here, I can end the session. Okay, and I'll just close this Word document as well.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, during the assignment you told no, sir.
Hmm.
If that some of the students have not performed well in the assignment means I want to ask them to resubmit for the set of students only.
You can
Is
do it,
possible?
ma'am. Yes. I will show you how it can be done. Okay. Now,
Okay, sir.
just click on this assignment edit option. Okay. You might have given the feedback to the students to resubmit it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in the speed grader itself. So after you give them a stipulated date. So if you are giving them time till 18th, you just don't change the due date, just change the until date. Okay. And just click on done and save it. So that students will be able to submit it before 2 more days, like before 18. And after they submit, you can just go into the speed grader and do the evaluation for those students.
Okay, sir.
That is why the until date is given here for these kind of delayed submissions or else some missing students, because we can't say right, because due to some unforeseen circumstances they might not be able to submit. So for those things only we have kept this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Student has submitted a PDF document as an assignment. Can we scribble in that and can we evaluate something and write or comment or anything in the PDF document here?
Okay, 1 minute, sir. So what you are telling is when the student is submitting as a PDF document. Okay, so when he does that, this is the document which this student has submitted. So we can either download this document and do it. Okay, or else it will be visible here, sir. Just 1 minute. Whatever submissions they are doing should be, I don't know why the preview is not coming. Yeah, it is coming now. So here, that is what you asked, right, sir? You want to just annotate something or write something here.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we will be able to, in the screen, in the document, you will not be set because this is preview. Like whatever student has submitted, it is a preview which is coming, but we will be able to download this file and then we'll be able to do it, because when you download it, it will come as a normal file. In that, you will be able to annotate. Hello?
Then how it can be uploaded? How it can be uploaded? How
It
the
can be
student knows
uploaded here, sir. See, for example,
this is wrong?
yeah, I'm opening this, sir. This is the document which I have downloaded. Okay. So I'm opening this document now. And I'm just clicking on this. And as a faculty, I'm gonna make this wrong. Please correct this part. If I'm just giving it like this in bold in a different font. Okay, so now this is becoming a different file for the system, right, sir? I'm just going to save this. Close it. Here, if I go, it will ask me for choose file. Okay, so I'm just going to the downloads. I'm going to open this, open, and give it. Feedback in attached doc. Go through it. Okay, and I'm just submitting it. So now what happens is, then as a faculty, if you submit this document will go into the student and this feedback will also go. Okay, so he will get a prompt like this: feedback is given by the faculty. So when the student go and check, he will see the correction you gave and also the feedback you gave.
So this will be communicated to the concerned student only, right, sir?
Concerned
Not to all.
only, sir. Yeah. This is communicated to the concerned student only.
If I want to communicate to all the same way, how can I?
That it is very easy, sir. If you want to communicate to all the students, like if this is what they need to do, just click on an announcement and send it to them. Like you will be able to just upload a file also here. Correct submission you can give it, or else you can give it as a sample solution. Okay. You can do it like this, or else you can just go to the home page and upload the sample solution file. Okay, so that is also possible. As a faculty, you will have a complete privilege to get in touch with students anytime, sir. Like you have multiple options to reach out to the student. But for the students to reach out to faculty, they need to like individually reach out. Okay, because faculty is the givers here, right? Faculty is giving all the content to the students. Whatever you are giving, they will be able to access those. And that is a requirement also, right? As a stakeholder, students' requirement is whatever faculties are giving them or whatever knowledge faculties are imparting, they need to grab that knowledge. So like this, the system also works like that.
In the assignment, sir,
yes, sir.
What are the types of files can be uploaded? Maybe photo or document, okay. Video, everything is okay, or any file size limitation is there?
Not exactly, sir. If they have a good internet bandwidth, they can upload. Because we are using this same portal for a lot of other programs also. In that, some programs we used to upload the code files, the complete project report, lot of videos, everything will be uploaded in the file section, sir. Like how we have uploaded, right, sir? Browse and click on the file and upload like that. The only thing is, if they want to upload a video or some audio file or something, they should have a proper bandwidth. Then only they will be able to upload it.
Okay,
but any file can be uploaded, sir. You can upload Excel sheets, you can upload Python notebooks, you can upload R files, you can upload any like programming or code extension files, or you can upload images, everything can be done.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, for problematic papers, apart from PPT, how can we use it?
Sorry, I haven't got your question. Can you please repeat it?
For problematic papers, like Blackboard, how can we use the board apart from PPT?
Problematic papers means that is what sir was asking right now, ma'am. When the session was happening, how he can show the equations. So we need to open a Word document and we need to type whatever we need to do. Or else you can use a whiteboard. In that you can annotate, like whatever equations you want to give, you can annotate that. So that is how we can use it for problematic papers.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Normally, when we connect the digital pads,
yes.
For that option is there, sir.
Yes, that option is there. Yes.
Because mathematical papers and others, we can use the digital board and it will be more comfortable for us.
Yes, sir. It doesn't matter to the system, right, sir? Because when you are connecting the digital board, what happens is this is a separate hardware which is selected, and once the hardware is configured with the system, this particular session or the whiteboard when you are sharing, whatever you do using the computer, you can write in the scribbling pad or else the external device which you are using.
Okay.
So you can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
If you have that hardware, you can do that, sir. And your configuration is also very easy. Like how you use in the classroom and projector, right, sir? Like that. You need to just take screen sharing and use that thing, and you can just start scribbling on it, and your screen will be visible accordingly to the students.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir, kindly say what are the system requirement to use these tools, sir? I am using Windows 7 2 GB RAM, sir.
In that case, are you using that system for session hosting, sir?
Yes, sir. I am using the system for taking class and all those things, sir.
Yeah, you will be able to use that. But what happens is Windows 7 automatically the upgrades are not there now, right, sir? Updates have been stopped. Now the updates are only there for Windows 10. I'm talking about the system updates. So what happens is when the system updates is linked with the application updates, like some particular feature of the application, like a virtual session platform or else with the Olympus Digital Campus platform, some particular newer features which is coming might not be visible while you are doing it. Okay, so it is better if you can upgrade your system to Windows 10 and upgrade your RAM, because it will be easier also for you to conduct the classes, because the speed of the system itself will change. So it will be increased. So it will make your life easier if you can do that. But with Windows 7 and with that RAM which is available, you will be able to conduct classes, but there might be some errors which might prompt, sir, because of the version problem that we also cannot help it. So it is always like the prescribed format is to use Windows 10 and with a comparatively good RAM, like more than like 4 GB or 6 GB would be good. Sir, am I clear?
Sure. What he's asking is what is the minimum? They are talking on the higher end side. What is the minimum configuration to use this? In 2 GB, 1 GB also it works.
The
Because my lab,
sir, I will share it with you. You can share it to all the faculty, sir.
yeah, it
I'll
works.
get the document and share it with you, sir. Yeah. So all the technical specifications will be given in that, and I will share it with you. You can share it to all your faculty members, sir. And any other questions? No, sir, ma'am. Any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
During online session, is it possible to mute or unmute the student camera and microphone by ourselves?
Yes, yes, yes. It is possible, sir. As a host, because in the current online session, as I had shown in the online session, you will be automatically joining as a host. So host will have complete privileges of muting, and I'll show you, sir. 1 minute. Go to this session. Okay, I'm just going to the session again. So I'm going to the session again. See, I am joining as a host. So I will have a complete control over the other people, other participants in the session. I can mute everyone like this. Click on mute all the people will be muted. Like this. Just click current and new participants will be muted. Allow participants to unmute themselves. If you uncheck it, they will not be able to unmute it till you allow them to do it. Is it clear, sir?
Thank you, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
For students, what kind of training we need to give, sir? Because the system is new for them for using the portal and all. So, whether there is any training sessions for students?
Students, training sessions would not be very much needed, sir. Why? Because I'll tell you, when they log into their portal itself, most of the things are self-explanatory, sir. Because when they log in, they will see a dashboard. They will see all the courses. And also, if they click on it, they can only see whatever you have given them. Why we are giving training to the faculty? Faculty are the people who are configuring it, right, sir? But in case of students, they are only seeing whatever you are giving. They are not able to configure anything in the system. They will be able to understand it very easily, sir. Yeah, grade, attendance, everything will be clear. So only thing you need to tell them is they need to log into their system every day, and they need to just join the sessions using here. They need to view the recordings using here. So that is what you need to inculcate in them, sir. Once you do that, then it will be very easier.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, is it any application or app for Android user or?
Android users, yes, sir, it is there. Great Learning application is there. So that they will be able to use.
students, it is only for the learners, sir. So students will be able to use the application. They will be able to log in using their same email ID and password, and they will be able to access the content which you are giving them.
For the host, we need to use the browser, right, sir?
Yeah, for faculty, admin, everyone, we need to use the browsers, sir. Yeah, students can also use the browsers, but if they want to use the mobile app, because most of them are joining through mobiles, that's what we heard. So in that case, they can log in through the app also.
Okay, sir.
Or
Okay,
else
sir.
mobile browser. Google Chrome is preferred, but any other browser also they can use.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir. Whatever the explanations you have given about this particular software, we can able to get everything. But once we work, then only we can get a lot of doubts. Is that right? So you just allow us to work for at least one day. Then, if possible, either Monday or Tuesday, just in half an hour a doubt clearing session we can conduct. So that will help the faculty members to raise their doubts and they can clarify themselves.
Sure.
Then only they can get 100% understanding about the software. Otherwise, it will be like one-way communication, and it will take much time to the faculty members to learn about the particular software.
Sure, sir. You can try doing it, and if you're stuck somewhere, you can ask us, and you can note down your queries, and also you can reach out to us. We'll be happy to help, sir. You can update the concerned admins and also Chandrasekhar sir, and we can take it forward, sir.
Just let them work for 1 or 2 days, so that it will be easy for them also to come with the platform questions.
Sure, sir. Understandable. Thank you. So, sir, if there are no more questions, shall we wind up the session, or else is there any other questions from any one of you? No.
Okay. So, Sharad, I'll take over the session from here. Thank you. Thank you, Sharad, and I'll call back for you. Just an instruction and request to all the faculty members. Hope all of you have received the mail from Olympus Digital. Some of you have not accepted the invitation, or some of you have accepted the invitation, but like